Saturday, so we're going to do a little impromptu video here all about sponges. Let me grab my assistant, if he's not predisposed. Hey, you want to help me make a video? It's an impromptu YouTube video. You want to help me?
What are you doing?
We're going to talk about sponges.
Oh, come on.
Come on. Your shameless plug. I'll throw a shameless plug at him. Just to, this is the bait. If you're in the greater Vancouver area and you need your concrete pump fixed or any piece of heavy equipment, that's your guy right there. Right there. 20 plus years experience in the business. Top notch. He's really in this one deep. We're going to start without him and maybe he'll catch up with us later. If he doesn't, I'm going to edit the plug out of the video. 1,090 followers, man. You make the decision. Okay, but on a more serious note. Wide variety of sponges here. So I'll go through the pros and cons of each of them. Water washers, bucket suckers. Just skip ahead. Just skip on to the next one. This is just going to agitate you. So, got the square sponges here. What I don't like about these, when they're brand new and they're dry, air will actually pass through them because they're like an open cell foam. So I always want to get them a little bit wet and then wring them out just so they seal up a little nicer. The other thing you can do is put them in a plastic bag. Obviously they're not going to clean the pipes quite as well like that, but when we use these for blowing out the place-in boom, we always put the first sponge in a bag to make sure the air stays behind it, does not get ahead of it, and push the sponge back into the blowout cap. But if you're using these for a boom pump, I don't think you're going to see a lot of situations where you need to put them in a bag. If you use one of these, you can take it back nice and slow. If you stop your auger paddles accordingly such that they're not obstructing the openings of the material cylinders inside the hopper, most of the time the sponge will float all the way up to the top. The wetter the concrete and the lower the level of the concrete in the hopper, the more or the higher chances for your rate of success. Higher rate of success? I don't know. You get what I'm trying to say. So now you got the square sponge. Then the other ones we do here. This is my favorite, tried and true. Hard round sponge. Suck one of these back, no water in front of it. If you put water in front of these, the slurry that it creates will actually drip behind the sponge. You just end up with the drippies coming out of the tip elbow. You can't really pull these back slow because all that happens is they tend just to hang up in the pipes for a few strokes. Then they rocket ahead, hang up a bit more, rocket ahead. You can't really get a slow controlled pull on these. You don't really have to. They're so hard. They don't distort oblong egg shape inside the pipes as such to skim over material. So these are really good. I would almost say you could suck just one of these back and nothing more, and your pipes would be clean enough that you'll never have a problem. You might have a slight layer of slurry, but no significant buildup. If you've ever tried to pull one of these back and there was any kind of buildup in the deck pipe, you'll notice that it will not come back. So you pretty much know your pipes are clean enough if you can get this all the way back in the transition door. Something like the square sponge here, I've seen deck pipes half full of concrete and we're still able to pull these back. It'll just squish down and skim right over top of that concrete. So then you got the soft round ball here. I like these. You can pull them back nice and slow. I'll put a little bit of water in front of them. My favorite thing with these, even not having the pin stopper, you suck them back, they pretty much always sit right in the swing elbow, right below the prime port if you are fortunate enough to have a prime port. And what I will do, if I'm traveling to the next job or going dirty to another job, I'm not worried about getting the pipe spotless. I'll just pull back one of those, take the slurry cap off, and I can pull this soft sponge right out of that opening. Whereas the hard sponge, you have a heck of a time getting out of the opening. So that's where the soft sponge comes in nice and handy. If you only pull one of these back, your pipes are not going to get spotlessly clean. It's kind of a good enough thing on a smaller pump, doing a lower strength, low chemical, low cement type mix. These work just fine. If you're getting into doing like bridge decks, high chemical mix, 24-hour mixes, I would not be comfortable relying on just one of these. These plugs here, these 6-inch plugs, I don't have much experience with them. We just kind of have them on the shelf. I know guys that use them, they absolutely rave about them. They just use one of these with a bit of water in front. I could see how these would work quite well. The only thing that I don't like about these, and it'll segue me into the 6-inch round sponge as well, what I don't like about them, when they come back to the elbow, they don't get that distinctive echo through the pipes, because these are large enough, they will expand and they will still seal this off. So there's not that definitive sound of the ocean when the ball is back. If you're fortunate enough to have single wall deck pipe, you can just tap your deck pipe and you'll know that way the sponge is back. Or if you have a finely tuned ear, even with twin wall deck pipe, you will be able to achieve the same thing. So here's the granddaddy, the Go Devil. Guaranteed clean pipes. 100% guaranteed clean every time, even if you just pulled this back and nothing else. The only issue with this, if you had any buildup in your pipes whatsoever, these will not bypass over it. They won't skim over it. They will get stuck. So if you're starting off with a fresh set of pipes and you use one of these and use one of these all the time, you will be in good shape. The only thing is your cutting ring and wear parts have to be in really good shape. If you don't have full vacuum capabilities, you might have a hard time pulling this back. On this exact pump, I used one of these for years, no problemo. Worst case scenario, if it doesn't come back, blow cap on the tip elbow, give it a little bit of air pressure while the pump's stroking in reverse to assist it coming back. The other issue with these, here he is. Here's the man, he made an appearance. Yeah, he made time for me, he made time. The other issue with these, if you have these tight radius elbows, which a lot of new booms do, they're not super happy going through those. It's a regular 90, no problemo. It'll bend and make its way through. With these tight radius ones, I've heard of guys having to chop these down, remove a set of ribs, modify them, whatever. Then I question how well they actually work at that point. We have actually sucked them back through the tight radius elbows. Half the time it works, half the time it doesn't. So, what do you think? Any preference? Between all of these, what would you do?
I like the 6-inch.
See, my only gripe with the 6-inch is, if you use it as your only sponge, it actually does clean pretty well, but the problem is when it gets to the transition door, it's large enough, it still seals it up, and you can't get that echo, you know what I mean?
Dude, my boy Mike was doing round hard, and then the 6-inch soft.
Now, my issue with that, I used to do that. He was doing the 6-inch hard second or first?
The 6-inch soft was second.
Because see, when I would do it first, the 6-inch soft, and it would hang up on the pin stopper, it would actually stop all the vacuum because it seals too tight, so I wasn't able to get the second ball back. So I see if he's doing the hard ball first and then following it with this, yeah, that would also work. But then you're also kind of guessing if this is back because you won't really hear it. And if you tap your deck pipe, it's going to sound empty regardless because you've already pulled the one sponge back all the way.
Throwing that right into the top.
Oh man, that's a $15 sponge. We'll get into pricing too. We'll get into wow, for the genuine puts ones.
Yeah.
David has a knack for sourcing things from various obscure parts of the globe for about a third the price of North American retail. So $8?
$6.75.
Okay, well, we're doing good now. $6.75. So
it's gone up though.
It's gone up, inflation, right? But the granddaddy of them all, the one that works every time, 100% never fail. Hard sponge, no water in front of it. And I've made a video on this, which is almost at 10,000 views, by the way. It's my top video. Yeah, people seem to like to watch the really, really basic stuff. So it's probably just all the looky-loos that don't actually pump concrete. Hard sponge all the way back. Full 5-gallon pail of water, lots of water. Take this medium/soft sponge, pull it back at about 30% volume. Nice and slow. We have the benefit of the pin stopper, so when this comes back, when they're both back, you will get the sound of the ocean. I will mention, if you don't have the pin stopper and you pull the one ball back, when you go for the second ball, if you have a lot of water in front of it, that water will actually flush that first ball into the hopper, possibly chopping it. So if you don't have the pin stopper, you might want to be really, really careful on that second sponge. Go extra slow and maybe use a little bit less water as such, not to float that first ball directly into the hopper. So pricing wise, $10?
I think they're up at like 14.
14, oh my, yeah, wow. Crappy thing with these is when you use them to wring them out, it takes frickin' forever. No matter how long you spend wringing them out, seemingly you park it over the weekend and they've become semi-rock hard. They only last so long. My favorite trick for wringing them out is I'll lift the grate up, put the sponge right here, and squeeze it with the grate like almost like a mop wringer to clean those ones out. I've heard of guys leaving them submerged in a bucket full of sugary water so they never harden up either. So 6-inch soft round, how much?
I want to say like 10 bucks.
10 bucks. And we'd established these were like 6 and change, maybe 8 bucks now. These guys are about 20.
No. They're about the same.
Are they?
So like 10 bucks.
And the Go Devils are like $80 now.
Yeah, I think they're around 80 bucks.
So this is all in Canadian dollars, by the way. So subtract 30% if you are south of the Great White North, as I'm sure many of you are. So anyhow, yeah, that pretty much sums it up. Like I said, these orange ones, I've literally gotten 2 years out of these sponges because they're rubberized foam. They're super quick and easy to rinse clean, and they don't harden up like the squares do. I'm just not a fan of these. I've heard guys say that these are so great because you can pull them right through the S-tube and they clean the S-tube. If you pull back 5 gallons of water in front of your second sponge, all that water is going to flush your tube and your barrel's more or less clean anyhow. So anyhow, that is it for today. To summarize, the best method, in my opinion, hard ball, sucked fast, no water in front of it, full 5 gallons of water, soft round sponge to finish it up. If you're lucky enough to have a prime port, great for moving the pump. Suck the one soft round ball back, take the cap off, pull it out by hand. No need to mess around with the clamps. If you have a pin stopper, even better. The world is your oyster. So anyhow, anything you want to add to this?
No, I think that sums it up.
We covered it pretty accurate, not too much BS.
Yeah.
A lot of different opinions on this. What do you think of water washing?
No.
Suck in a bucket?
No.
You know what I actually like doing? I like pulling one sponge, and if I got a washout pan, I'll fill it with water while I'm waiting and suck it all back. Easy washout. I call it the hybrid. You'll see that in my next video coming up 2 weeks from now. It's a hybrid cleanup.
Is that why the garbage can's on the 38?
That is why I have garbage cans not so discreetly stashed on any pumps that I may run from time to time. The 24 has one as well. Anyhow, that'll be it for today. This one will be dropping later this evening. I apologize for the delay. I'm sure many people were losing sleep over that. Did you catch the sarcasm there? Maybe not. Anyhow, like, share, subscribe. Like, share, subscribe. Say it for the third time.
Like, share, subscribe.
If you say it 3 times, they will. Mountainside Repair, right there. I won't share his phone number because he screens his calls, but if you're not an idiot or annoying and you pay your bills, David would love to help you out. Over and out.